set of questions does not leave room for some underlying questions which are central at this point. For example, the problem of starvation in the world, where 2 billion people are living on less than $1.50 to $2 a day. It does not deal with the problem of international disease. It does not deal with the problem of carbon. It does not deal with the problem of nuclear war. It does not deal then, therefore, with the problem of health. It does not deal with the problem of education and what it is that people need to know. It does not deal with the question of research on various issues, and it does not deal with the problem of the development of a moral technology. As things develop over the course of this last 100 years, it's technology which has been even more the political revolution than the political revolution itself. And now what we are going to be faced with, and are being faced with, is the biotechnology question of what is moral in terms of what we expect from technology with regard to biology, molecular biology, etc. So all of these things are now on the table for the United States, but they are also on the table for the human species itself. And one can look at every part of the world and see elements of this crisis which is going to become even more intense in the next 10 or 15 years. As what also happens is that groups of people will begin looking to themselves to try to figure out what it is that they're able to do in order to live in a decent way. So you'll see the decay of the state. You'll see more surveillance on the one hand for the state to keep power. You'll still see continuous war. We'll still have a situation of, in the United States, and I think in other parts of the world, thousands of groups forming to figure out how they can begin relating and developing a different kind of social contract with each other.
Questa concentrazione di risorse sul modello della presenza militare americana non lascia spazio né economico né politico per affrontare le grandi emergenze mondiali, la fame, le malattie, il cambiamento climatico, le armi nucleari e così via, l'emergere di nuove tecnologie, per esempio in campo biologico, che cambiano la nostra percezione di cosa è legittimo o meno. Questi sono temi che sono sul tavolo non solo per gli Stati Uniti ma per tutta l'umanità e di fronte ad una crisi che si manifesta con l'incapacità del modello precedente di continuare a funzionare e la sua incapacità di affrontare queste nuove problematiche a scala globale, ci sono risposte diverse. Da un lato le scelte di politiche statali accentuano la chiave repressiva di controllo dell'esercizio del dominio, e dall'altro abbiamo però un moltiplicarsi di esperienze di gruppi locali, di comunità, di esperienze sociali diverse che cercano di costruire modelli di convivenza, relazioni sociali per affrontare in modo costruttivo i problemi di oggi.
In conclusion, let me just say a few philosophical words about all of this. Bobbio was one of the few philosopher activists in the world, in the West, who took the view that nuclear war was a disaster. And with Russell, Bertrand Russell, saw that as a crucial element that had to be dealt with. Now, there were different ways of dealing with this. Some believe that that Russell believed that this could only be dealt with through love and empathy of one person for another. and one system had to adopt that sentiment, the sentiment of affections, which one can find in the British philosophic literature. Bobbio took the view, as far as I can tell, that you could have a strong state that had to come into existence, which would, in fact, be able to control and end the possibility of war. He then, it seems to me, backed away from that position, seeing that, in fact, this could just end up being, in this case, the United States doing that, being a single power to be able to do that. The more interesting philosophers to me with regard to study start from the assumption of understanding the role of affections in policy and politics, and the role of empathy and sympathy in policy and politics. Those turn out to be central elements which link people one to the other. Also, as one looks at that, you then have to ask the question, what is the role of habit? Now, for a moment, I would suggest to go back and study Paci, who I view as a great thinker, not terribly well known outside of Italy, but very important in terms of the development of the idea of pluralisms and differences and affections that have to be brought together, accepting the importance of science as well, and analyzing science. Second is the position of John Dewey, who spoke to the question of habit, making the argument that what you also had to see is that people lived out their lives in certain habits. And here the issue of education and habit and interest came to be very important. Now, let me conclude. Go ahead now, just conclude.
A questo punto dobbiamo forse guardare anche qualche aspetto più filosofico per capire quali sono gli spunti che ci possono essere utili per ricostruire una modalità di convivenza. Una sfida importante è fare i conti con la minaccia di distruzione nucleare, come hanno affrontato da Bertrand Russell in Inghilterra, da Bobbio in Italia. C'è un problema di capire quali possono essere i fondamenti per ricostruire un modello di tipo radicalmente diverso, e qui diversi, come Bertrand Russell ma anche il filosofo italiano Enzo Paci, mette al centro l'elemento del riconoscimento dell'importanza delle relazioni basate su empatia, simpatia, effettività e il riconoscimento delle differenze come condizioni per la convivenza e la creazione di relazioni di comunità. Queste cose sono un processo che richiede un processo educativo e di consolidamento di abitudini e di meccanismi sociali, illustrati anche da John Dewey.